Warm greetings from the high 10. It is Everyday Shenanigans, and thanks for joining me. Hope you all are well. This information I'm bringing to you is an update pertaining to Chadwick Carr, 32 years of age, African-American male missing out of East Tennessee. I've brought you a few videos pertaining to the disappearance of Chadwick Carr. I've gone out to the Oliver Springs, Clinton area in search for answers. Most of you have watched my content. You saw me go to Bubba J's now 2 times. You've seen me out at that house 2 times, sitting, watching, trying to piece together what happened on that fateful evening, May 1st. It is believed that Chadwick Carr disappeared from the said halfway house called the Foundation. The house allegedly beds 8 men at a time. And as I said to you in a previous video, the sister believed that it had 16 men at one time at the said location. Mr. Carr is believed to have been there for about 90 days or so in that spectrum. And he is believed by his sister that he went missing from that said location. Thank you all for joining me. This is NBC News, if you need verification for the storyline. Family continues search for Tennessee man Chadwick Carr 6 weeks after he disappeared. The 32-year-old father disappeared on May 2nd, 2021. Chadwick Carr loves to make people laugh. Every day he posts some type of entertaining content for his fans, anything to bring a smile to people's faces and brighten their day. He's a comedian, or thinks he is. His sister Whitney Williams Carr told Dateline with a small laugh. He's very outgoing and very much a people person. But the 32-year-old's post on social media stopped on May 2nd, 2021. The Knox County, Tennessee native had been living in the Oliver Springs area of Anderson County, Tennessee for the past several months, but kept in contact with his mother and sister nearly every day. Whitney told Dateline she spoke to her brother on the phone the night before he disappeared. She said at first everything seemed fine, but then at some point when he set the phone down to light a cigarette, she heard talking and then the line disconnected. Whitney said she tried calling back, but he never answered. When Chadwick failed to show up for an early morning meeting at his construction job the next day, his family knew something was wrong. He's been through a lot, but he's a hard worker and he would have shown up for those responsibilities, Whitney said. And he loves his job, loves doing construction and working with his hands, building and creating things. She said they became even more concerned when Chadwick's cell phone, wallet, van keys, and a single flip-flop sandal were found left behind at his residence. He didn't take anything, she said. It's almost like he's a ghost and he just vanished. Whitney and their mother, who live in Knoxville, filed a missing persons report with the Anderson County Sheriff's Office. The Knoxville police also joined the search efforts, posting pertinent information to social media asking for the public's help. 2 weeks after Chadwick's disappearance, Anderson County Detective Terrell Slater released a statement on video telling reporters that they had exhausted all efforts in Anderson and Knox counties and asked the public to call with any tips they may have. The tips were really coming in good for the first 2 or 3 days, but none of them really panned out, Detective Slater said at the time. But I'm still hopeful. I'm not going to let this go. Chadwick's family refuses to give up on finding him, but say it has taken a toll on them. His sister Whitney told Dateline she's trying to be strong for their mother. That's her baby boy, she said. This is really breaking her. I'm just trying to keep it together for all of us. She's also trying to stay strong for Chadwick's son, who she says has the same smile and same comical personality. We don't have a lot of answers right now. We don't have a lot of answers right now, but what we do know is he wouldn't just walk away from his family, Whitney said. He does not do this. It makes no sense. Whitney told Dateline she's not sure what else can be done, but she hopes and prays someone will come forward with information that leads him to her brother. He had this saying he would say at the end of his Snapchat videos, "Sip on me, don't dip on me," Whitney told Dateline. So that's what I tell people. Please don't dip on me. Help me find my brother. Chadwick is described as being 5'9" in height, weighs 230 pounds. Anyone with information on Chadwick's whereabouts is asked to call the Anderson County Dispatch at 865-457-2414. The source for this information is news, and it is a Dateline archive. So I suspect that eventually this will be a Dateline update into their information for those of you who follow Dateline on NBC. So look forward to the commentary pertaining to Chadwick Carr. As I state, Chadwick Carr is an African-American male, standing at 5'9", 230 pounds, missing from the Oliver Springs, Tennessee area. He was at the Foundation, a halfway house that bedded 8 men at a time, those suffering from chronic homelessness, mental issues, and drug addiction. Where are you, Chadwick Carr? Your family is concerned about you, worried about you. The community is worried about you, those who are concerned. But most of you who follow my content know that the Queen was on the ground and found it baffling that in this small town of only a few thousand people, a very rural area outside of Oak Ridge, Tennessee, and Oak Ridge sits outside of Knoxville, Tennessee. For those of you who are familiar with the East Tennessee area, it is strange for someone to go missing in a town so small and nobody knows anything. Nobody knows where he is. Nobody knows anything. But we know you know something. And what we have to tell ourselves is that he did not just disappear. He is not a ghost. He wasn't a ghost. He was a person. 2 feet, 2 arms, 2 hands, and so forth. You see, the Queen is woke. The Queen stays woke. Something happened to Chadwick Carr at that house at the Foundation. And you all in that house manager, the men who were there, at least 10 of you, and that's just from what I've seen from I Spying on Facebook. Most of you know what happened to Chadwick Carr. We're going to stop dilly-dallying around the subject now. I'm not going to play games with you all. You know what happened to Chadwick Carr. Because you see, you had to get Chadwick Carr out of there. If we're to believe this is foul play and he is no longer with us, you got him out of that house and you had to transport him out of there. Whether you put him 5 feet away, 6 feet away, 20 yards away, and it's not to be disrespectful to anyone in the family, but we're going to stay woke because we're at a 6-week time period and this makes no sense. And if he left behind a phone, wallet, van keys, a van, 1 flip-flop, then that means he did not leave on his own or by his own permission. So that means someone in that house knows what happened to Chadwick Carr. And the fact that he had viable employment and did not show up for a meeting the next day to his job, that leads you to know that he never made it to the job because he would have to have a way to get there. And if he drove his own car, chose to use a car, then common sense tells you the obvious. And I don't think it's a good idea for us to pretend and play around with the subject matter any longer. Someone is responsible for the disappearance of Chadwick Carr. And the fact that the tips have led nowhere after a couple of days tells you a lot. Why is no one talking about Chadwick Carr in the Oliver Springs area? Why are those people in that small town, why is it they have no knowledge of this man's disappearance? They are right on the edge of where he lives and nobody knows that he even disappeared. And people talk. Small towns talk, just like people talk in big cities. Talk is talk. People gossip, people whisper. And somebody in that town knows something. And you can bet your bottom dollar it starts at the Foundation. You housemates know damn well what happened to Chadwick Carr. And the house manager, you'd have to know as well. And who are you? Yeah, Queen's going to keep it real. You are all complicit. You're all complicit in the disappearance of Chadwick Carr. Because if he went missing from the Foundation, 1105 Dutch Valley Road, you are all complicit to the lie, the thievery, assault, perhaps, and the death, if indeed he is no longer living, Chadwick Carr. Because where else can we take this story? And I don't want to take it into a negative light, that it's a ruse. So I have to stick with what's been told to me. That is where he was last seen. This information in this article about him talking on the phone with his sister and lighting a cigarette, putting the phone down. I didn't have knowledge of that. I don't remember her stating that to me in the phone call. So what happened? Who was he speaking to? Who walked up on him while he was talking on the phone? And was he indeed outside talking, or was he inside? You see, you'll never know because we were not there. And all you have to go on is what people tell you. And I think most of you know, who follow true crime, that you can rarely believe the story that has been handed to you by witnesses, ear hustlers, bystanders, culprits, co-conspirators, cohorts. Crystal says foul play. We're going to roll with foul play. His family needs answers, and it's time that somebody cough up the goods pertaining to Chadwick Carr. You all in that house at the foundation, I'm going to keep saying foundation because allegedly that's the name. I could say that on my last visit, those of you who follow my content, that when I sat by those railroad tracks and watched these people outside this house, I didn't get a good feeling of a responsible, cohesive environment. Now, if one person wants to come to the Queen and tell the Queen that, yes, this is a up and running, functionable, A1 top-notch halfway house by the books, I'll listen. But until then, I'm going to go by perception. And my perception is that you ain't. You see, a visual aid is the best indicator of what is really going on. And we have learned that sometimes what you're seeing ain't what you're seeing. That it could be a mishap on the one day you were looking at your visual aid. But I'm going to say on that day by the railroad tracks, Queen is right on the money. A female Caucasian woman is walking across the grass, cussing and hollering like an old hillbilly. Yeah, I said that. And so what I have to tell myself is, who is she? Why is she there? What is her role there? And why is she hooping and hollering and using profanity outside on the lawn? Who was she speaking to? Everybody going about men, tinker-tankering with cars, just like it was the first time I went out there. So my better half is telling me, what the hell is going on here? What kind of place is this? So I'm going to address this to the owners of the foundation. What the hell do you have going on at this halfway house? Because it does not look copacetic to Angela. And I'm pretty damn adamant of my perception of many things. Could I be wrong? Of course. But sometimes the eyes don't lie, and the ears surely don't lie. What I saw both times is not copacetic to me. It does not look professional at all. So what I have to ask myself is, if what I'm seeing by the railroad tracks don't look professional on the outside, I think you all know the rest. What the hell was going on the inside? Where are your security cameras, foundation? Do you have security cameras on the outside? Do you have security cameras on the inside? Because what we have to ask ourselves, the Anderson County Sheriff's Department has not released any information pertaining to video surveillance of people coming and going on that fateful night into May 2nd. So what I have to ask myself is, if we're to believe he just disappeared, however, you would by now have told us we've got something on the surveillance cameras. I'll wait. So you mean to tell me you have a halfway house with mentally disturbed patients, clients, drug-addicted men in your facility, those who have possibly committed heinous crimes mandated there by the court, parole, probation, whichsoever, those who freely check themselves into this facility, such as Mr. Chadwick Carr, and you don't have surveillance cameras outside or inside? You have people who are possibly violent, committed assaults, robbery, thievery, fraud, the hustle of drugs, and you don't even have surveillance cameras to protect the clients themselves against themselves and the staff and visitors and the general public. Because this is a barren road, Dutch Valley Road, 2 houses on either side of the property, a beautiful yellow house across the street where the railroad tracks are, and you don't even have surveillance cameras. And if you do, come to the Queen with a receipt. And I don't mind retracting what I'm saying, because really what I'm saying is a question mark. Where are the cameras? I look forward to seeing this piece on Dateline. I am a Dateline fan. I've been watching Dateline for many years. And as most of you who follow my content know, I am an avid true crime follower. I will stay on this case until the very end. Until the very end. You can go to Facebook and find the post pertaining to Chadwick Carr. Many people have nice things to say about him as a person. And indeed, he is a person. And somebody liked Chadwick Carr. Somebody loved Chadwick Carr. And he deserves the truth to be revealed about what happened to him. And somebody out there knows. And I've got a feeling, kind of like the other stories I've brought you lately, it's a whole lot of somebody's, plural, know what happened to Chadwick Carr. And it's time that you all cough up the goods if you know what's best for you. And the one little person out there, and you know who I'm talking to, and I don't want to call your damn name out on this live. So if you don't act like you got some sense about yourself, I will call your name out. I'll call your entire government name out on my live until somebody tells the Anderson County Sheriff's Department the truth of what happened to Chadwick Carr. Hey, little birdie, you know I know that you were there that night. You see, that's where you messed up. You see, your phone can be tracked, sir. And they can check your phone to see that you made many phone calls to my phone from 1105 Dutch Valley Road. You see, the phone doesn't lie. And that's where you messed up. That's where you messed up. You see, you never told me where you were. Probably ashamed to tell me that's where you were. And I get that. But you see, when you're asking people for help, you should be truthful. And I later put 2 and 2 together that that's where you were when the story came up on Newsbreak in my notifications of a missing black man from 1105 Dutch Valley Road. And the first thing I thought, Dutch Valley Road, where have I heard that before? So then I thought of you. And then I Googled 1105 Dutch Valley Road. And voila, the foundation came up. And I put 2 and 2 together that you were there for whatever reason. And to this day, I don't know the reason you are at the foundation, but I can use common sense of why you were there. And you're possibly still there. So you see, you're not going to be able to lie and say you don't know about the foundation. You didn't live at the foundation. You didn't know Chadwick Carr, knew of Chadwick Carr, crossed paths with Chadwick Carr. Because as I told the people on the YT, I got confirmation that you were there from a Facebook post belonging to Chadwick Carr, because it's amazing what you can see in a picture. And the queen is always woke. My game is tight. It stays tight because I don't miss nothing. You were there. You were in that halfway house, May 1st, May 2nd. And you know what happened to Chadwick. And that's why you hung up the phone the day I asked you about Chadwick Carr. And you asked me to describe him. And when I did, you hung up the phone. It doesn't matter about you hanging up the phone, homeboy, because you've already told the story when you hung up the phone. You were there that night when the shit went down, outside or inside. And your phone records are not going to lie. And they're going to ping off the tower out there in Hillbilly Alley all the way to the location of my damn telephone. So you fucked yourself. You and your friends. So you want to ride or die with them goofballs out there at that damn house, the house manager, the owners. You are all going to be in for a world of surprise, because you see, the one thing I've learned about true crime is there will always be a slip up. There will always be pillow talk. There will always be sober thoughts. And somebody, someday, is going to start talking to somebody that they think they can trust. And they are going to tell that little dirty secret of May 1st to somebody. And then that somebody is going to sing. Prayers for Chadwick Carr and his family. And if any of you have any information pertaining to the disappearance of Chadwick Carr, please call the Anderson County Sheriff's Department and ask for Detective Daryl Slater, and give the said information pertaining to Chadwick Carr, African-American male, 32 years of age, 5'9", 230 pounds, 865-457-2414. Daryl Slater is the current detective covering this case. He is hopeful in solving this case, and prayers to him that he gets the answers in finding Chadwick Carr. Oh, I done took him to church. See, all I'm waiting on is that inbox message, that mystery phone call block number. Somebody will be calling the queen, because they always do. Somebody will inbox the queen, because they always do. And let me tell you something about this queen. I am 50 years of age, and I do not easily intimidate. Leery, of course, because I'm human, but I don't intimidate easily. How you doing, Leah? Thank you. So, whoever you are, just give up the goods. Don't worry about nobody harming you. Do what's right. Tell the truth. Tell somebody what happened to Chadwick Carr. Any information you have, Just tell the truth and be done with it. Because I got a feeling there's more than one person involved. And with common sense, due to the fact that we know his height and weight, it's a whole lot of you that's involved. Because you had to get him out of there. By any means necessary. You had to get him out of there. Where's Chadwick Carr? If somebody has information and you are worried about revealing it, you can contact the Queen. Big Sexy 71 IG. When I decide I want to deal with IG, that's really the only time I'm going to deal with IG if you got information pertaining to Chadwick Carr. Or you can put it on my community post and let it be on a post pertaining to Chadwick Carr only. Thank you, Leah. This man deserves justice. His family deserves justice. The community deserves justice, because the one thing that some of you are not realizing pertaining to this disappearance of Chadwick Carr is that these people are walking around you free. Stay woke. You see, you didn't think about that. If indeed this is foul play, this is not a ruse, not a hoax. This man is no longer with us. Somebody got him gone, and that somebody, plural, they're walking around you, talking to you, working beside you, living across the railroad tracks from you, living in the same town with you, possibly dating you, sleeping with you. And how sick would it be to know that you have been sleeping with a killer, a cohort, co-conspirator to the death of a man? See, that's the gist of the story. They're walking around free, as if nothing happened. May 1st, May 2nd, 2021, at the Foundation, 1105 Dutch Valley Road, walking around as if Chadwick Carr never existed. Now you put that on paper. If you have any information to the disappearance of Chadwick Carr, please post it on a community post pertaining to Chadwick Carr only. And notify the Queen on IG, Big Sexy 71, to any information that's pertinent pertaining to Chadwick Carr. And any information I give, I will relay it to the Anderson County Sheriff's Department. I will not be holding any secrets pertaining to the disappearance or any foul play dealing with Mr. Carr or any human being. I want to thank you all for joining me. Thank you, Crystal, for joining me, my mod. Thank you, Crystal, for the information today on this story by NBC. If you all need verification for the storyline, please log on to NBC and the Dateline archive. I suspect this will be an upcoming story on Dateline, so please check your local listings for this said information pertaining to Chadwick Carr and the interview done with NBC and his sister, Whitney Carr. Williams, excuse me. Thank you all for joining me. God bless all of you. Stay safe. I will be going live later on this evening, and it will be a grown folks hour. Will not be anything pertaining to true crime. It will be a live pertaining to men. Amen. Thank you all for joining me. Have a wonderful day. This is the Queen in the High 10 Everyday Shenanigans. Thank you.